Growing number of countries consider making ecocide a crime.
Here's a summary of the article.
A growing number of countries are considering introducing laws to make ecocide a crime. While damaging the environment is already a civil offense in most countries, recognition of ecocide elevates the most egregious cases to a crime, with accompanying penalties. Rodrigo Lado, director of Stop Ecocide Americas and a member of the panel that developed the ecocide definition, said Brazil's was the first bill of its kind in Latin America to formally enter a national legislative chamber. During an Icelandic parliamentary inquiry earlier this year into whether the country should recognize ecocide, the Prime Minister, Katrín Jakobsdóttir, told MPs that her government was following work on an international legal framework on ecocide very closely. In January, the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe adopted a resolution calling on member states to update their laws to codify a crime of ecocide. If this passes unscathed through the EU's full legislative process, then member states will be required to make ecocide a crime through national law. Jojo Mehta, co-founder and executive director of Stop Ecocide International, said interest in the idea of criminalizing ecocide has grown hugely in recent years.
This post received a score of 6,900, with an upvote ratio of 98%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
It is all for show unless they prosecute corporations
and make shareholders economically liable.
Let me guess. Excluding private jet flights, right?
Correction, excluding the wealthy.
Laws are just for the poor.
The more they can destroy demand for oil, the more leftover for their entertainment and our digital gulag.
The fossil fuel barons and politicians who do nothing should be treated as war criminals the way war criminals should be treated.
Yeah, the problem is we keep voting for these war criminals over and over again. So it's our fault too. Case in point 2013. We had a carbon tax in Australia. Murdoch media destroyed the government over it and people voted in a right-wing government with a clear victory, just because they wrongly believed they would save a few dollar this way. But everyone knew about the idea of climate change. Half of voters either didn't believe it or didn't give a shit what happened.
Tell me about it. I live in the UK and the Tories keep making promises about how they'll deal with climate change at some point in the vague future whilst they sell off oil fields in the North Sea to oil corporations, reopen coal mines and try to open fracking sites in the northwest, that literally nobody here wants BTW.
Consider, what's the hold-up? Should have been implemented 50 years ago.
We live in a corporatocracy, not a democracy, where the corporate class run the show. That's why. And let's be sure to state that this isn't just for America. America colonized the world with the dollar furniture Cold War and now everyone is suffering for it.
Countries, we are considering making ecocide a crime. Corporations, here's more money for you and you friends. Countries, ecocide is allowed.
Only 50 years too late, and I'm sure this will be applied fairly and evenly through all the classes of society, as these things are known to be.
Yeah, definitely won't be used to incarcerate and suppress lower classes and individuals while the governments and industries that did the most to destroy the world pass vocal judgment blaming it all on the everyday people and turning us into a spectacle. We are not going to be given justice for our planet by the same assholes who ruined it with their politics and greed.
Why does big business get to keep on pumping out plastics, milk jugs, saran wrap, soda bottles, etc., but the people get blamed for littering? It's like Big Pharma any oxy. Just because we are producing it, in unreasonably high volume, does not make us responsible how it's used or discarded.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.